Hello YouTube, welcome to the channel. Now then, today's video does not have any RC related content, but something happened to me the other day which was absolutely incredible, and I do feel the need to tell you guys about it because it was just absolutely amazing. I think if I live to be 1,000 years old, this would never happen to me again. The best way to describe, actually, we'll go outside. It's a story of how incredibly resilient and tenacious life on this planet is, and it all starts with a horrible dirty washing up bowl. So we'll go outside and have a look. Right, our story starts with this very unassuming looking washing up bowl. Now this washing up bowl has been outside my house for months. I use it in the garden. I think I've even used it at some point to drain the car's engine oil into, so it gets used for all sorts of mucky jobs. I mean, you can see what's left in the bottom. This bowl was filled up to about there. You can see the tide mark actually, with this horrible stinking green stagnant water. Like I say, it's been outside for months, but for the past 3 weeks I have to walk past this bowl every day in order to get to the garage to get my tools out. But for the past 3 weeks, sometimes when I've walked past the bowl, I've heard a splash. Now I've assumed, or I did at the time, that it was the guttering dripping into the bowl above the window. Even though it's been a dry day, or we've had quite a few dry days here, I've assumed it must be an errant drip from the guttering. 2 days ago I walked past the bowl and heard the splash, but at the corner of my eye I saw some movement in the bowl. Now I thought it was going potty at the time, but I assumed it must be a frog of some description. A frog has obviously jumped up, or possibly jumped up onto the bench, into the bowl, got stuck. There we are. As I approached the bowl, I thought I saw a fin in the water. not like a shark or anything, but a fish's fin, because this water is opaque green. Imagine opaque. It's just horrible, stagnant, shitty water. So I basically shouted at the wife. I said, "Listen, I think there's a fish. I think I've seen a fish in this bowl. I must be going absolutely potty. I think I've seen a fish in this bowl." Anyway, me and the wife basically slowly and carefully drained the water out of this thing, and this is what we found. There's a bloody fish in there. There was a little tiny fish in that bowl. There he is. I might try and submerge the camera. It's supposed to be waterproof to 11 meters, this Osmo action cam, but we found there was a fish in that actual stagnant bowl. Where it had come from, I have absolutely no idea. Actually, in fact, let me just try and get some underwater shots of him, just in case there's somebody out there that can identify it, because I have no clue. I've got a little pond with some goldfish in, and I was going to stick him in there, but I don't know what species he is. It could be a predator, so I might end up with no goldfish. But I don't know if you can see there, that little tiny fish. Right, here we go. Voyage to the bottom of the sea. Now, I've actually watched this video several times, and there he is at the bottom of the screen there. Now, I've actually watched this video several times, and it almost looks like a little goldfish. But when you view him from the surface of the water, it looks brown. There is no silvering. He's a brown colour. But when you actually get under the water, it does look like a silvery gold colour almost. I can't quite make my mind up whether it could be a goldfish from somewhere perhaps, but I'm not an expert with fish, so I'm hoping that there's somebody out there that can look at this and just tell me what he is. That's a much better view there. But from the top, like I say, from the top, it looks brown with a sort of reddish brown tail. But now I'm watching this video, it does look like a goldfish. Perhaps it's a goldfish that's a predator's pinched out of somebody's pond and released, and he's plopped into that horrible bowl of stagnant water. I can't begin to tell you guys actually how filthy and awful that bowl of water was. How he survived in there, it must be for at least 3 weeks, because I've been hearing that noise for at least 3 weeks. So whether or not he's been dropped in as a much smaller fish, there's a much better view of him there actually. Whether he's been dropped in as a much smaller fish, but how the hell has he survived in that bowl? I mean, there must be no oxygen in that bowl, surely. I mean, I know it's outside, It does look like a goldfish from here, though. I must admit, from the top, it doesn't look anything like a goldfish. Like a very browny colour. But I'm looking at it now and thinking that looks like a goldfish. So hopefully somebody out there might be positively identifying, perhaps a fisherman of some description, possibly in the UK. But yeah, how has he survived in that horrible bowl? I can only imagine he's eaten sort of mosquito larvae or something like that, or errant bugs that have landed on top of the water and drowned. But if you'd have seen that water he came out of, it's a bloody miracle that he survived in there for this long at all.
So how incredible is that this little fish has survived in that rank, horrible washing up bowl outside outside my house for at least, there he is, for at least 3 weeks. How the hell did he get there for a kick-off? Well, I can only imagine that he's either been dropped by a predator as a much smaller fish, or perhaps he's been carried as an egg on the feathers or feet of a waterfowl, perhaps, or been pooped out as an egg in the excrement of a bird, because that is possible. But if you can see him there, I bet you can't see him on camera there. He's a very dark brown colour. It doesn't look like a goldfish from the top, but in the video he does look like a goldfish. But yeah, if there's anyone who can identify it, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. But I'm still gobsmacked as to how incredible this all is. There he is, look, the sun's on him there. But just the tenacity and the sheer, it's just incredible. I'm still blown away by it. If you found the video of some use and interest, there he is, bless him. I'm thinking we could call him Lucky. If you've enjoyed the video and you found it of some use and interest, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you're feeling that way inclined, hit that subscribe button for more similar. Well, you won't get any more similar future content with this, because this is a once in a lifetime occurrence. There he is, up there. But yeah, I'm still blown away, absolutely gobsmacked. Catch you again soon, guys. Thanks for watching.